fresh in adwin and the man that maybe a for when you can do. Yeah, for the man, near down or Johnson, class and across with Yanado. As a diet toward the man, yes, I agree, you end up the amount. Yes, Anti management Johnson, as you into the man of money. Na ensa san ensa do so kakra na what's it nechi what's in henyi na yi se you try to want the man you from afofu bi ba fa yan ye mo bo hu da afofu bi ama yan ho na ye sua de fu bi so da akwa so ye aduma ye no do enti se na ye bi shema na dwumedi ni try there. Yeah, baby, shame the year is not for about time to me, ma. Na, yeah, you dream my final for every day to demand the money. I send Sabia, Avenue from a pack. But if you would have one, they have a soul, the man who was there for now. Baya. Na yin sama yin tabu, ne da mu biara akaba, wo da mu bi ase, da masu.
Senior house missionaries, Madam Beatrice Mbia, to come and introduce the special guest.
Na program bia so ye ya ye won penifo bia ye to ensa ye de frɛ won enti ende nwumre ya to ye ensa afrɛ ye penifo a na omo ka ye ho na first one a ye beto ye ensa afrɛ no e ma waboa chairman ma na ye ne dwuma e ye Mr. Philip Kwesi Nkum
I think that is more than take an address from our human resource. HR and the regional education officer like this. Headmaster Ken. Oh yes. It is virtually becoming a non-stop sort of work, such that I believe all of you here are tired. But you can also complain you are tired, because what's it? Those all called the engineer. I was a better than and see you to there. Oh yeah, how bad? Them I be here. I was busy. Hands cottage. Hey, me just there. Unto my own hand corner. Na home kakra kebi ode de yendo na no do what na oya musin kakra stand there na kan biri biti dami in kai baba mo ya batra han na sabe ya ji enwa so headmaster said there dey busu ya su kakra nti mo dututu ma say na yo be yi o stand there mi ndo wo he wa brebre na mo ye besre peinfu asem bi o ka there ya ji enwa kra so na ye fa hope they may be an annual program, bring us some and again. I have no doubt that you know all that we are going to make mention of. but this is an occasion for us to refresh our minds on some of the things that some of you might not be too much abreast with. My being here is also an opportunity to be asked questions, so that at the end of the day, some of the things that are of bother to you in your various schools will be clear. So please, it shouldn't be just about what we are going to say, but what you also have that you wish that we could help clarify. As you can see, today is the day for Biseco Senior High School, and the occasion is a making staff development capacity building workshop. And I am the presenter, Godfred Maula Kojo-Mensah. Be very verbatim, so please don't mind me when I go up. It is necessary that we give accounts on our strengths and weaknesses and projections made towards the realization of the organizational objective. We are here. Ono no mama ye wu de o de ye bibi kan ye na brabo no hu ya de kire no hu ye dwuma ye hu anaso de o de ye de me ye na. Then again, an occasion of this sort affords us the opportunity to refresh and reflect on our roles as staff, and here I'm referring to teaching and non-teaching, to identify our strengths and weaknesses and to chart a course towards improved quality education delivery. As a teacher in a classroom, you have to set targets, objectives, so that at the end of the day we have to ask ourselves questions. Was this sitting successful or not? So let's look at something. We are saying that by which time we leave this session, we should be able to recall the core mandate, that is the functions of Ghana Education Service. We should be able to identify the structure of Ghana Education Service and further down to a typical senior high school structure. Refresh our minds on key management practices, scheme of service, code of conduct, and other related issues in Ghana Education Service. These, I said earlier, are our objectives. But then, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, once you find yourself as a staff of Ghana Education Service, anywhere you go, the very first thing anybody wants to know from you is about the mission of the organization you find yourself. So, minimum there, there, as we recite, but understand it so that you can even paraphrase it to your best understanding. Many a times you go for interviews and they want to know whether if you understand are providing quality education and training through effective and efficient management of resources to make education delivery relevant to the manpower needs of the nation. This I said, that you might not be able to make this part of you as by way of recalling verbatim, but then if you understand it, you can coil something out of that, and that becomes yours, and you can use it wherever you are, and you'll be able to explain it. Now let's come to the vision of GES. Ghana Education Service seeks to create an enabling environment in all educational institutions and management positions that will facilitate effective teaching and learning and efficiency in management for the attainment of the goals of the service. Now we know the mission, we know the vision. As a service, a level of authority is divided. So we also have what we refer to as the levels of management in Ghana Education Service. Sometimes my colleagues, when you start teaching, if you are not careful, all you get to know is your subject matter. Then when it comes to the very organization that you work, it becomes sometimes very difficult. So today we have the opportunity to also refresh our minds on the levels of management that we have in GES. As you can see, we have management at the headquarters level, that is GES headquarters. We have the regional directorate, that is, for example, where you are, we are in the central region. So that is the regional directorate. And now we police, these are the missions, and that inspires us as to where we want to get to before finally we exit or retire from the service. We have existing Ghana Education Service organizational structure, also from the headquarters level, the regional level, the district level, and the school level. But then today, ahead of us, we're going to have new organizational structure when approved by the Public Services Commission. So, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this is a draft. So, please don't misquote me, this is a draft. Now, because that is what we'll be using, I just want you to have an idea. I'm going forward, the old one will be discarded, and this is what might come. Of course, once it's still under consideration, there's a possibility of review. But I'm quite sure that the review might not distort the entire structure. It might be an addition or some little bit of subtraction from it. So let's know that with the new structure, we still have at the top or the apex in decision at the GES Council, which is just at the old one. Then within the GES Council is the Director General of Ghana Education Service. Now, under the Director General of Ghana Education Service, we have two Deputy Director Generals. One of them is Management Services, and the other is Quality and Access, or Access and Quality. Then again, you realize that on the same structure, you have other people who also report directly to the Director General. And as you can see up there, we have the Council Secretary, who will report directly to the Director General. We have the internal audit. We have the legal services. Then we have the public relations. Now, when we come back to the two, then educational technology, that's Deputy Director General. Policy planning, research, monitoring, and evaluation, inclusive education, schools, and instruction. Because of time, we only want to concern ourselves so much with the other unit offices that will fall under these various divisions. Because of time. Then we can also this might be the new structure for GES network. So let's move on to the original whole structure. This is assistant by that Deputy Director Human Resource, Deputy Director Planning, Deputy Director, we call that Chief Inspector of Schools. And then under the same regional director, we have the audit and accounts also reporting directly to the regional director. And again, the PRO and then also the legal officer also reports to the regional director. But then, we wouldn't also concern ourselves to the other offices or units under this, because we are even going to change this, so we need not to concentrate so much. So we are moving straight to the new structure that on approval will be the new structure for the regional level of education. We still have the regional director at the top, and then under the regional director, for the first time, we're going to have the position as the deputy regional director, which all of you here may one day aspire for. Then, under the deputy regional director, we can also see there are other officers who also report directly to the regional director. One of such officers is the legal officer, the internal auditor, then the public relations officer. Then now when we come to the structure under the deputy regional director, we have the various units, the head administration, the head human resource management, the head teaching and learning, into brackets, teaching management and curriculum. We have head planning, head inclusive education and enrichment, head regional management, regional manager, that is units of schools. That is the first one, as we said. The regional managers will also fall under the various units under the regional director. Then, as you can see, each of these units will also have officers who work under, as it is, as we speak now, as an HR. Under my units now, I'm not going to have a lot as I used to have. I'm going to work with officers in charge of staff development, training, and then progression. They will also have officers who will be responsible for HR management and administration. Now, for the first time at the regional office, we are going to have head administration. And officers who work under the head administration includes officer ICT, officer administration, procurement and logistics, budget, transport officer. As you can see, same will go for all the other units at the regional education level. And like I said, because of time, we wouldn't want to get so much as the HR, Deputy Director, Supervision, Deputy Director, Administrator, is called Finance and Administration. These are the current frontline officers and the various district officers. And like I said, the district accountant also reports directly, and the district internal auditor also reports directly to the district director. We wouldn't want to bother ourselves so much with the other who will be reporting directly to the district director. And then again, we still have officers that we refer to as the frontline officers, except that the titles of the officers have changed. We have head administration, head HR management and development, head teaching and learning, head planning and budget, and then district accountant, and then the unit schools or unit managers. This is going to be the new structure that will be operating on the approval at the district level. As usual, the regional accounts, the district accountant, and the internal auditor will continue to report directly to the district director. So now we want to look at organizational structure of a senior high assistant head administration, and then assistant head. I need not to speak much about this because this is what is operating currently in our schools, and you already know. So I'm sure at Biseco we have assistant head domestic, assistant head administration, and then assistant head. And all of you fall under one of these assistant heads. Please, today, after our discussion, we want us to go back to our schools and follow the channel. There are instances where we hear a teacher from the classroom straight to the headmaster. It is no problem. Maybe by the time we end this session, you know that we have a structure, we have the way we have to go about things, and therefore maybe after today, we have a way to allow our assistant heads to also work and function as well. So we're looking at, if it's approved by the Public Services Commission, the new structure by the board, and we are looking at internal and head to accept the new coming of this new structure now. Yes, scheme of service. Many of you, somebody will say, why scheme of service at this time that we are here to enjoy? Let me say that many of you have joined Biseco Senior High School right from the university. I know there are many others who went to the training college and have got and have moved to the senior high school. They don't have money for the money coming to the scheme of service. For the benefit of those who got appointed right after their first degrees and joined the schools. Some of them have not heard of Superintendent 2 before. When you ask them what is Superintendent 2, well, you came as a principal superintendent. We have professional teachers. So these are professional staff. The Director General is up there. And as I said earlier, Deputy Director General, we have 2 of them. Then under the Deputy Director Generals are the divisional directors. And all the divisional directors are on the rank of Director 1. Then beneath the Director 1 is Director 2. Then we come to Deputy Director, Assistant Director 1, Assistant Director 2, Principal Superintendent, which is the most common and popular to all of you. Then we come further down to Senior Superintendent 1. We come to Senior Superintendent 2, Superintendent 1, and then Superintendent 2. Now, because of the upgrade of the colleges of education, all our teachers who are coming from the various colleges of education are coming with previously diplomas, now coming with degrees. So with the diplomas, they start from on levels of knowledge. This is we have teachers, of course, and some are not professional. And you know when I say not professional, you know what I mean. You haven't done education. You don't have a Ghana teacher license. And these are the people's teachers. We have craft and non-teaching. In our schools, we also have non-teaching personnel. Unfortunately, because of time, we cannot mention the various non-teaching roles. So we have categorized them in the classes. So as you can see, we have the accounts class in our schools. We have internal audit class. We have the supply class. When I say supply class, it means the small keepers will fall under that. Our account staff will fall under the account staff. have the catering class, we have the administration class, secretarial class, library class, laboratory class, house mother class. Some of them you not heard before, house mother. It exists. And as you can see with my diagram, the communication is a two-way affair. It can be from bottom up, and then it can also be from top down. Let's look at the top down. We have headquarters communicating directly to the regional directorates. Regional directorate communicating to the district directorates. And from the district, move to circuits, circuit to the schools. Much the same way, the flow can also be from the school through the circuit, the district, the region, and then to the headquarters for decision. We wouldn't waste much time. Revised code of conduct for staff of GAs. It didn't say teachers, it says staff of Ghana and GAs. Whether we are teaching or not teaching, the code guides us to operate within the confines of the rules. For teachers, I would want to say that you see teaching notes. It is in the code, the revised one. It is in the code that as teachers we are supposed to prepare our lesson. And it makes your lesson so interesting and make children or learners assimilate it better. For somebody, probably a colleague at a training college who is privileged to become an assistant to come and direct me the best way to go. So I'll prepare my notes. So at every least chance I get, I use that to prepare my notes. So it makes teaching high interesting. So I want to share this with you that as you go back, let us all try, no matter how difficult it is, prepare our lesson. And as I say, I'm not saying it as an HR, but I'm saying it because it is even in the code of conduct. Code of conduct for staff. Then in this case, I'm referring to the teachers. Exercises. We've been hearing it several times in our schools that we are supposed to give children enough exercise. This exercise shouldn't just be given, but you should be able to mark them and give the children the feedback for them to make amends, for them to get the remedial attention that is required. If you want to talk about the meaning of that, do not end it. But I want to jump to examination. It is unfortunate that a teacher who is supposed to supervise examination, many a times we hear are those who are giving scripts and other foreign materials to. Because I was in a school a couple of weeks ago, and it's unfortunate that when they were writing the exam, the teacher felt the children were struggling. So decided that we'll Google the answer and show you the answers went around the school. You can't believe it, but it did happen. How can the teacher say you are sympathizing with the learner? Does it mean you didn't teach that well? So here we go back to say that a teacher shall set, mark, and manage his or her own end of term examination. You are the one who taught the children. So you need to set your questions to fit the area you are able to cover. And even if you are not the only teacher, you need to be able to come together as a group and decide how the questions will go. And be able to mark them and on time for them to get the feedback and their remedial actions also taken. There are several others that I will not want to waste much time on. For working hours in our schools, headmasters and administrators are taking care of that. Let's move on. Co-curricular activities, you all know that as teachers, you are not only to teach, but you are supposed to also help in co-curricular activities. Looking at all that we need to do, like I said, I'll share the slide with you so that at your own leisure, we have the time to be able to go through them and then guide yourself with it. Other than that, if we have the whole day, we'll be able to go through them one after another and then establish ourselves with it and then guide ourselves as well with it. As I did mention as our guiding principles, it also means that if we should go contrary to any of them, there are sanctions that will be. And GES has also, or the code has also categorized functions into category A and B. The category A fanatic for the minor, that is a minor misconduct. And some of them will be the warning for future offense, topic of increment, can be surcharge and termination if the misconduct persists. Category B, are looking at deferment of increment, reduction in rank or salary, suspension, removal from that education service, dismissal, and then striking out name from the register of that. Performance of duty. So talk about what the teacher is supposed to do, and then once I'm talking extensively about that, we move on. Absence of duty. Please, as you leave here today, note that don't leave the school. Some say, I'm finished teaching, I'm gone. No, it is not accepted. The code says that you are supposed to be in school within the school hours. Even if you don't have the lessons, you are not only to be in the school as a teacher, but there as a moral paramount who is able to help influence and change the morals and conduct of the students. So you are supposed to make sure that you stay in school. Insubordination, you all know what it means. It is part of what we are supposed to guide ourselves with. And now we should stay away from that. Address internal and external audit report. Some of you ask yourself, why internal and external audit report about the teacher? The head of department here. Sometimes you request for funds from your head. After you are done with whichever exercise it is, you are supposed to return by way of reporting with the necessary receipts to your head or the account for whatever audit is required to be done. Other than that, you may be invited to the disciplinary committee to answer why you shouldn't panic for not giving the feedback or retiring whatever funds that was given to you. Performance contract. Let me say here that the headmasters of senior high schools have signed performance contracts with their regional director and then respectively the various metro police by district directors. It is now the responsibility of heads to sign performance contracts with teachers and staff. So distinguished ladies and gentlemen, don't find it odd if an head is giving you targets to achieve. This is to be able to ensure that at the end of the day, we have to sit and then review and ask ourselves, what target was set? Where have you gotten to? And then we can now decide what can be done. It could be that we lack resources. There were challenges. And at this point, that will be able to do so that the school authorities will provide the necessary resources for you to remediate and then perform to help achieve the objective of the school. Transfers and postings. My time is up. We have many other things to say, but I will just you mentioning them. Transfers. Quickly, as you can see, no staff has the right to say that me, I won't go and answer. Please, I told you how I watched the result. It was on phone. You are reading. And then the next day I got my letter. So please, all of us as staff of GES will be reposted at any time where our services will be most needed. Now, how maintenance allows? As teachers and staff of GES, we all have the entitlement to this. If and only you have a vehicle registered in your name, and you use the vehicle for your work as a teacher. Not the vehicle you bought for your wife, no. The vehicle that you use for your work as a teacher. But then, it doesn't just happen. Many a time when people are ending the allowance, then teachers are angry, I should also end with the point. You need to provide this document and apply to the channel, to the head, the specification, for us to voice our colleagues, some of you are also using motorbikes. Some also have bikes. See, we are categories. So it is good that you also take note of this and apply for you to also end safe allowance.
Information now. What the Mamma Mon kind. I do a quite many items are Bumuri, are men in a day. Besides in high school, teachers are all her. About 95% of you are young. Clap for yourselves. I know, said it. Not even even the teachers alone, the staff. Many children, besides senior high school, will future. Moments and mama. I think also staff development. There, Yeboshiyadi, Yaman Kuna Eco school be our way. No moment, there will be outside the school. No more premises to the Hans Cottage. I'm going to buy an answer. More move aqua, social all the social interventions. I am one could make moments. Madam Pinfuasi, especially headmaster and management. When I want them dry, what may you happen at least? So if you be already by the man, Chippy. I am going fair being fair by 7 or 8 years. Now, don't make any teacher from Asia. Subject kitchen room. Be a woman. There's a Mufabo or something of passer. Woman, why was it my own? Now, I do Yana Passo. When you be there, who are the banning pool? Now, here is that. Oh, teacher from William. It's the ambassador. You won't be now. I got one to say, Mamma won't give me more catching. Now, I said, you are in Madame. Mamma, man, kind of master of the I woman, you be now, what's your now, or from Chinois, I think. Then who was a tenant for a park. My kind of protocol. Then we are my chance for fancy. A man who, I'm quoting, a man who calls his kinsmen to a feast does not do so to save them from starving. They all have food in their own homes. When we gather together in the moonlight village, it is not because of the moon. Every man can see it in his own compound. We come together because it is good for the kinsmen to do so, unquote. Amen. Amen. Moments and moment. That one share the me pay for one share the me on share the moon yet the bend will move you. Who went to bed the papa? Will be put up quite ready. Now, sir, it would there. Something here I actually across the crack. One more customer, one more grass, and chrome ground. Yeah, I tell a grass crack. Don't I say a bosom, pray paper, one more by now, where she will baby faco. Bosumano, or pure beer if you into a beer to the fair job. Naso, or when here, the old bush here is the Asia. Into Asia and Asia on, and Cheddar, who yet to bed your movie. They yet to bed to the Asia. No more one here that only about into the other. Abraham, how at the bar. Or how men also might be few shady bar. And I did the more how now so was at that hole. The air can day. The air penny is sheer, even a nature. So what I got, and get the whole day, man. The comedy with man were you know, teaching him for 1 year, no one can kind. Say, the water can kind. Never go out, no shade. What are the period 24 hours. But we move in there 24 hours in Ushamai into Indian cases. when you remember Yam, the 24 hours and waiting. Say, in time, yeah, what we're going. In your really good year, not the young family in fair, I'm again, it's the American, you say, he asks us to buy me. Young will be a war. I don't want to see us again. We are working against our leadership. Obedience Maranka. I must have been go on with
performance contract. Because most of the time I have there, contract is supposed to be there. The student has to perform whatever is take.
My models on upgrade. You spoke extensively on those who complete university and then are posted straight to their schools. My issue is on those teachers who have gone to the university and are on a steady leave to pay and then are returning to the classroom. Their upgrading becomes a problem. I'll take myself as an example. I completed 2019 and was posted somewhere August. And then my upgrading letter came and then it's the date on it is 2020 somewhere August. And so I don't know, my colleagues, some of my colleagues were upgraded before that time. And so they were enjoying whatever. But for me, it means a whole year has been cut off. And so now if there's any promotion or any promotion of that sort, they will go and I am left behind. So say, what can we do in that case?
Three questions.
Though you are a teacher and you are supposed to have the license, most of the issues you need to fulfill must come from the National Teaching Council. It's unfortunate they don't have regional offices yet, but we have coordinators. So if you have a concern or a difficulty, I will refer you to one of the coordinators who can help you and guide you the best way and the easiest to get your card. My brother at the extreme end also asked about the delay that he suffered in his upgrading. In my presentation, I did mention that, I may not say that is his problem, but I did mention that some get posted to our schools and assume that once they have been posted or returned from study leave, their upgrading will be done automatically. What happens is that up until you graduate with a certificate, your employer will not know that you have a certificate, so you need to apply. The Director General only places you as and when he receives your application. So you might have completed in 2019. If your application did not get to the Director General in 2019, the effective date of your upgrading will be as and when your application got to the Director General. So this might be why a colleague, you may complete a colleague, he may be upgraded earlier than you. It's all because of the application and the deadlines that goes with it. Yes, please.
Mine is not in that case.
Previously, when a teacher applies from Biseco, it is routed through the district to the region, and when region verifies the attachment and all is set, regional director authorized us to issue you with an upgrading letter. So it was a bit faster. Now the new development is that when you apply for upgrading, from your head to the district to the region, and region would also have to forward it to the Director General for approval. And the region does not even do that as and when you bring. We have to collect the data in waiting for instruction from headquarters to submit. So it could be that you had applied, but as of the period you are waiting, the data will still be at the region, waiting for instruction from Director General for us to submit. Let me give you a practical example. From March to date, all applications for upgrading were still with us till yesterday that we submitted to headquarters. So if you applied in March and you are hoping that by March it should be placed, we were not instructed to submit. And you know, upgrading goes with financial constraints. So we should get budget for that to be paid. So I'm sure decisions will have to be taken, consultation with the Ministry of Finance for funds to be released before that could be done. So this is how now the process is. That is why we are seeing some delays, but it's not a deliberate delay. Then a colleague up there also asked about the Dean of Discipline. I was supposed to have mentioned it, so you are not out of place. Maybe it is the way, the fastness with which we had to present is why I skipped it. So if you are the Dean of Discipline for the CRC Senior High School, you are part of it. Thank you very much. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, performance contracts. Yes, set target. The Ontuma Finum Quavi. Now, if we are using 100%, we would have achieved, say, 80, 90, whatever. And since a headmaster, on your region, I cut the phone. The Ontuma 2023 end now what's the result in Biseco has improved over, say, 20%. The headmaster alone cannot make the 20% happen. So the head will have to also engage teachers and also set targets with them, because if the teacher is not guided with targets, then invariably you wouldn't know what to ask the teacher or how to evaluate the teacher's performance. So the head will also engage the teacher by way of setting targets. And then at the end of the day, we are finding out from the teacher. Now in some schools you do result analysis, and so when doing result analysis, the head is able to find out from the mathematics teachers, why did you say we will improve by 20%, but it is rather a downward 20%. Then the head, the teachers concerned, will come out with reasons, and if it's a legitimate reason, then it behoves on the school management to provide the resources or the staff development training that is required for teachers to be abreast and to be able to help learners to assimilate and to achieve the said 20%.
So I'm at it, may be never do no. Since the transfer, I'm paying into the other class. I want every watch now. And dinner nasi. You better one day. Now, son, and Mitre Cranny baby, one of Bobby crack. You won't ye. We are Frederick, education, commander, headmaster, Nanjo was son of now fear about commander. I have a classmate with Biseco. Form 1 to Form 5. That's right. 87, 1987 to 1992. No, some of us. You guys, one of us. Self-officer, is now one watch on.
Yes.
He sponsored it. Earlier today, they do that. From far away, Papa, no child will be safe. I agree. But no junior assistant headship appointment. Not the question more. Then I'm so the pig are not in the room. Senior head.
Yes, thank you very much.
I would like to thank the Almighty God for making this event a successful one. We also like to thank our chief guests and other dignitaries for their insightful speeches. We also like to thank our beloved headmaster, his assistant, the teaching and the activity staff for making this event a successful one. God bless you all. Thank you.
You're back in hand closing.